James Acton for Pro Boxing Fans, joined on the telephone with Mo Pryor, promoter. How are you doing, Mo?
I'm fine, James. A bit bored, but I don't know what to do with myself at the moment.
That's it. Well, I wanted to, talk to you about the lockdown, coronavirus, and the effect it has on boxing, especially at the small hall level, where you're best known for. So, how has the lockdown affected you and your promotions?
Well, I already cancelled three shows for April. It doesn't look like my May shows are going ahead in June, so it's got a big effect on me. But it's got a big effect on me, but it's more my boxers. I can't tell them when they're going to be fighting again. And once the lockdown finished, how long after that do we put a show on? The uncertainty is terrible because my boxers are not sparring. They're not doing anything. So listen, it's very worrying.
Now, obviously, short term, like you say, you've had to cancel some shows there, April, May, and like you mentioned, the boxers there, they're not going to get paid for not boxing. But what about the long term effects? In terms of they're saying boxing will come back potentially sort of July time, but potentially behind closed doors. Again, long term, what's that effect have on you and your boxers?
Well, firstly, I'm not so sure it will come back in July because you've got to remember that there'd still be ill people who will be able to get the doctors. Will they be doing other things? So, I'm not so sure there. Also, for the small hall promoter, our customers out there, are they going to have the money to buy tickets and stuff like that? There's not going to be a lot of money about. So I really don't think it's going to be. I think sort of October at the earliest. Some people were taking later. So the uncertainty's got. It's really worrying for promoters, boxers, and everybody in the game.
Wow, yeah, definitely. I mean, what can you do for yourself as a promotional outfit and for your boxers between now and October?
Unfortunately, it's not a lot I can do. Some of my boxers will get sponsorship and that, but that's only a few of them. And now their sponsors will start. They've got companies that sponsors for start, and they're on lockdown as well. So I don't know now whether they continue paying why the boxers are not boxing. So listen, I can only give advice, and if at the moment, if there's any work a boxer can do, I'd say go out and do some work because I don't think they'll be fighting for a long time. I can't give them any reassurances at the moment because we just don't know what's going to happen.
You mentioned there about going out to work. I was going to come on to it a bit later, but as you've mentioned, we'll come on to it now. So I've seen a lot of people online, for example, Savannah Marshall, high-level boxer. She's applied for supermarket work. Over in Australia, Andrew Maloney, world champion, he's gone back to labouring during this time. Are you, have you reached out to your boxers and you advising them, go and look for work?
I've just been thinking about it last night because I've been speaking to the board what we think is going to happen. So I'm going to be getting in touch with my boxers from now, and start saying, talking to them, But even the information we're getting is not great. The board's trying to give us all the information they can, but I'd say, I can't give these boxers a date when everything's going to be all right. So if they can, get a job in a supermarket or anything, because they won't. Some of my boxers are full-time boxers, and they're not going to be earning anything for a long time.
Well, this is it. A lot of fighters live on a fight-by-fight paycheck basis. How hard is it going to hit them in this sort of time?
Well, it's going to hit them really hard. I know there's things you can get from the government. I'm not too sure how that works, but a lot of my boxers have got families. They've got to feed them, and it's going to be hard. And as well as that, they've got to keep fit. And all the gyms are shut as well, aren't they? So they'll be training at home, and it's going to be very, very hard for them, James.
In terms, you mentioned about the government, and they're giving out, sort of 8% to salary-based and to self-employed. With a boxer, where do they come under? Are they self-employed or are they employed as they're under contract with you as a promoter, or what? Where do they sit in that?
There's not many of my fighters that I promised any, promises. Some of them are paid per round, but most of mine are on the normal British Boxing Board, about selling tickets. So they wouldn't be earning most of them $50,000 a year, so they'd be able to claim off the government. But I'm looking into it now, for me boxers, because I'm not too sure how it works with boxers,
This is it. It's such an unknown, and it's not something that we've ever sort of prepared for.
No, and it's not, and it's very, very worrying for them. I'm not worried about myself, because, I've got a job and I'm getting paid I'm still getting paid. But the boxers are not, so, it's really hard for them. I can see a lot of boxers after this not coming back to the sport.
Really? You think it'd be as bad as that?
Yeah.
Just because of the
uncertainty.
uncertainty.
If you're not boxing, for 6 months, I don't know, we might be lucky and there's something going on in a few months. But if it's not, the longer you stay away from it, the longer, people might decide, this is not for me now.
When boxing does come back, if it is decided it'll be behind closed doors and no fans allowed in, again, how is that viable for a small hall promoter like yourself, or would that be just a financial disaster?
Well, the only way, and I am looking at it, because it's when you say that it's not viable, but if we maybe do some, I've been looking at maybe doing behind closed doors fight and maybe selling the fight, so, for £1 or £2, so, the show, so that someone can watch it on their phone or something like that, because I think people will be bored to tears and they're going to be crying out to watch some boxing. So I am looking to do things behind closed, but with no ticket revenue coming in, it's very hard.
Well, this is it, are you going to generate enough money from potential sales online?
I've got to work out, because, my revenue comes from ticket sales.
Mm.
So, if you're not going to have anyone there, then I'm looking if we could do something and maybe sell the shows or sell them abroad or something like that. But, I haven't made up my mind yet. But it's okay for the bigger promoters because they've got television, they can do it. I mean, I work a little bit with Mick Hennessy on Channel 4, or maybe we can do a little bit on there, but I don't know, unless you've got the television, it might not be viable.
Well, you mentioned the Mick Hennessy. Obviously, he done a YouTube pay-per-view with Joseph Parker and Hughie Fury a few years back. Is there a market for that at small hall level, do you think?
Well, unfortunately, that one didn't go great. But, yeah, if we could get out and promote something, but you've got to put decent fights on, what people want to see. I think there is a market. I know that one didn't go particularly, as what they expected. But, there could be new audiences that, like I say, people are going to be very bored with nothing on there. So they'd be crying out for, some good fights after this finishes.
Let's see, it could work in your favour on that side of things. Do you feel when the fans are allowed back into the, like York Hall, for example, do you feel there might be a surge of sellouts for the small hall shows?
Well, on the other hand, people are still going to be worried about mixing, after the virus. And also, are they going to, are they going to have the money to buy tickets? It may be that we have to look at maybe selling the tickets a little bit cheaper, discounts and stuff like that. Because I don't think the money's going to be around for quite a while.
With the old social distancing and things like that, would you look at potentially capping the capacity of tickets that you sell, like maybe half a venue or something like that?
Yeah, definitely. But everything I'll take on advice.
Mm-hmm.
I listen what the government says and what the board says. Because the first thing, people's safety is priority. So I'm not putting. I'm not in this game. I know probably people don't believe it. I'm not in this game for the money. I'm in it to enjoy it and to get champions. And I don't want people coming at my shows getting ill from them as well. So anything I can do to mitigate anyone catching it, of course I'll do it.
Just going back to what you mentioned earlier as well about potentially looking to work with Mick Hennessy, someone with TV rights. How easy is that for guys like yourself or a Steve Goodwin or a Mickey Elliott to be going up to these big promoters with TV rights and saying, listen, let's put some of our fighters on there, or are you going to get shows that will just be overfilled top to bottom?
Well, I mean, I've got a decent reputation. I'm already co-promoted with MTK. Yeah, I've done a co-promotion with them already, and they want to do some more, so I can get my fighters on their show. But it's also vice versa. These big promoters put their fighters on my shows. Frank Warren had I had some of his fighters on my shows. Mm-hmm. And Mick Hennessy, it's easy. He's got the slots on the TV, and I've got some ticket sellers, so it's easy to work. Listen, I thoroughly enjoyed working with Mick Hennessy the last time. It was a great show. So, if you've got the quality fighters, it shouldn't be a problem.
You mentioned, obviously, you've had Frank Warren prospects and fighters on your shows. Is now the time for guys like Frank Warren to repay the favour to guys like you and put some of your big ticket sellers onto their shows?
Well, listen, he's a fighter. He's got to look after his own fighters, the ones who are signed with him. I mean, to be honest, the ones when I say they're on my shows as well, some of them are my fighters, but they're under promotional deals with Frank. So them guys I'd expect to be on his shows and all that. So, but in his position, I wouldn't be putting he's got enough fighters of his own, so I wouldn't be putting my fighters on if they wasn't. Well, if they were great ticket sellers, probably yeah. But if they haven't got promotional deals with him, I probably wouldn't put them on.
Now, going back as well to, you mentioned you've been speaking with the board regularly, just trying to find out the next steps. I mean, where are they getting their information from? Are they also just following sort of the government advice?
Government guidelines, yeah. I mean, obviously you know that they've cancelled everything for May now. Mm-hmm. It seems to be like just a month at a time at the moment. But I'd already cancelled my shows before I got the government, I was listening to the government to tell the truth rather than the board. And I could see where everything was going. And, I'd already cancelled my April shows beforehand.
Yeah.
Before the board told me to. Because I want to give my fighters enough. I don't want them selling tickets and then all of a sudden I cancelled the fight, cancelled the show, So, listen, I just don't know what's going to happen at the moment, James.
Yeah, that's a problem. I think nobody does, do they? It's one of those. In terms of obviously looking at this pandemic and what's happening to these small hall guys, is there potentially something in the future we can take from this and say, listen, let's potentially take a percentage of purse or ticket sales for similar to like a pension scheme, but for times like this, in a pandemic where they can get.
Honest, I've looked at, James, you hit the nail. I've looked at these things before. I've looked into insurance for my boxers. Because they get an insurance, they've got an life insurance, for instance, with a board, but it's not as much. The board will tell you that it's just a set figure. It's not as much as I like, and I try and encourage my boxers to take out some kind of insurance, but. Boxers are like normal people. They don't really think of their futures, and they get their money and they spend it. But I wouldn't mind someone took some of ticket money or something like that. So that we ought to be looking at it, what we can do for the boxers in the future if this is going to happen again. This is unprecedented. We've never had anything like this. I mean, since the Spanish flu, have we? So over 100 years ago. So I just hope we learn from it.
Is it something that, as a promoter / manager like yourself, you could put in place for your fights? When someone comes to sign with you, say, listen, obviously you give your cuts to your cornerman, etc. I take my cut, and I want to take another, say, 2.5% of what you sell for insurance purposes, like you say. Is that something that you guys can influence?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I have talked to my bosses about it before, but no one seems to want to do it. So, but listen, I'll just let you in the secret. Well, it's not a secret. When my boxers start, I don't take a percentage off them anyway. So, they could use what they're saving there to put into some kind of scheme. I'd love them to be have something like that they can fall back on if they're injured, or we just don't think ahead enough about these things.
No, definitely. Would you say it's something that you could enforce it to them? Say, listen, it's not a choice. You have to do it. It's for your benefit, and ultimately, end of the day, if nothing happens,
clearly, you're giving me an idea, but I don't like to force anybody to do anything like that. But
yeah,
listen, I'd give them a choice. I'm not going to speak to some insurance companies after, when this is all finished, or even now, while they're working and try and find something. But I don't like. I'm not that type of person. You've got to do this and you've got to do that. It's not my way.
yeah.
So I'd like to think that the boxers have got enough sense to want to do it.
That's it. Definitely, it's down to them ultimately. It's their livelihood.
I've encouraged them enough, and I've encouraged them financial advice. But honestly, I'm just not that type. You've got to do this and you've got to do that. But I'll just tell them the reasons for doing it.
And that's all you can do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Final thing I was going to ask you, Mo. In terms of, I know you said earlier you're going to go and you're going to speak to your fighters. What, not just your fighters, but what advice would you give to any fighter up and coming, or anyone who may be thinking about packing it in because of this? What advice would you give them in this pandemic?
Listen, they're not the only one. There's a lot of people in the same boat as them. I'd ask them, listen, it's the greatest sport in the world, I know it's easy for me to say because I'm not having financial difficulties and stuff like that, but if they can see it through, it's a great sport. But I would recommend anyone, who's got the chance to just go out and get a little job or something like that, because I just can't see anything changing for a few months. But listen, stick with the sport. It is a great sport, and it's going to be light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely. My Pro, thank you very much for your time today and speaking to pro boxing fans. We appreciate it.